Hey everyone, it's an aging zombie here. Yesterday, June 9th, Call of Duty had their Black Ops 6 reveal event after the Xbox showcase. And man, I've got to hand it to the Call of Duty or the Activision PR slash marketing team. They get me every time. I am hyped. Let's go over a couple things here. Now, this reveal event was mainly for the multiplayer side, multiplayer and campaign. There was a little bit of zombies in there, and we'll get to it, because my channel so far relatively has been mainly zombies content, Call of Duty zombies content. I've done some other things, but I haven't really done multiplayer for Call of Duty or Warzone for Call of Duty. Now, Warzone I don't really necessarily play, but multiplayer I do play a lot. I really enjoy it. So I am excited for all these changes because I will be playing multiplayer along with all the zombies content. Overall, I think the visuals of this game are very stunning. They are awesome looking. I think Treyarch does a really good job with the visuals of their game. The colors are always really nice. They're a little more bright. They pop a little more. I do notice, though, in some of the character models, it seems kind of Modern Warfare-y, but I also think that's just because of this new unified engine that they're running off of. But outside of that, you can definitely tell this is a Treyarch game, a Black Ops game. Now, for the technical side of things, so the mechanics of the game, there was quite a lot of talk about movement, and they have added quite a few new movement features, which I think are going to be pretty exciting for both multiplayer and zombies. Now, the three big things that they kind of showed off were Omnimovement, a new intelligent movement system, which allows you to traverse the map a little bit different, and then a new lean mechanic, which they are calling corner slicing. So the first, Omnimovement, is really just an extension of things that we can do from sprinting. So that being dolphin diving and sliding. So they've added now you can sprint in all directions. So if you were sprinting forward and change to strafing, let's say strafe right, you will now continue to kind of sprint in that strafe right. Same thing if you're going forwards and then you go backwards, you will continue kind of sprinting into that backwards motions, which means then you can also then extend the dolphin dive and slide to that, which I think is really cool. Now, I did see in the video where they were showing kind of the sprinting forward and then to the strafe and then back, there's kind of like a little like hiccup or delay, so it doesn't seem like it's just seamless. And then I did also notice it looked like, like when you're running backwards, it didn't look as fast as the normal sprint, but man, the strafing speeds looked pretty quick in that. Another cool addition of this Omnimovement is when your character is prone on the ground, if you go to try and do like a 180, so face behind you, before your character model would just kind of rotate on the ground, but now your character model will actually roll over on their back, which I think visually is just really cool. And it's also going to hopefully, I don't know about you all, but I know there's been times where I'm laying down somewhere and I go to turn around and it's like my legs get stuck on something and then the character model doesn't move and it's like, oh no, and you usually end up dying. So this hopefully will reduce kind of those instances of those things happening where you're clipping into an object and it's stopping you from turning over 180. Now the next thing is this intelligent movement system, which honestly I'm kind of on the fence about. So it's this idea that you're able to, in the settings, and I like that it's a settings thing, so you will be able to turn this off. You can go in and essentially have the game decide when you're gonna jump over or mantle over objects. And I say I'm on the fence because to me, it's ingrained in me, like when I'm running up to something, when to hit the space bar. I'm just kind of like, it's second nature to me. But there are a few times where I'm running up to something, and in my mind, I think the game is just going to have me walk over it because I think, oh, this is short enough. I should just be able to walk over it. And then I run into it, and then I hit space. So it could alleviate some of those times where then the game will just automatically take you over things, but then are there going to be too many other instances where, oh no, I don't want this on, so then I just go back to how I've always had it? Who knows? We'll see kind of how that plays out in the end. I know I want to mess around with it because I think it would be cool to, especially those smaller things, have the game just automatically take me over, but then larger things, I will manually initiate that. But there was really only these like three options that they kind of gave, so it would be dependent on how in depth those options behind the scene go. The next thing I'm pretty excited for, which I don't really think is necessarily going to be a huge thing in zombies, or useful, I should say, in zombies, but in multiplayer, I have a feeling it'll be very useful, and that is this new lean mechanic, which they call corner slicing. So they say it's a natural thing, so it's not a button you have to initiate, but if you're ADSing and you come up to a corner, your character will naturally lean kind of in whatever direction you're moving. So if you're coming up to a door and you start strafing out left of it, you're going to lean left and you'll be able to see a little bit. I think this is fantastic. Every game that has a lean, it's a really good feature to use when you're going to just kind of like peek into a room really quick. So I like that they're adding this. It'll be interesting to see how this plays from the other player's perspective. Like, I remember when mounting was initially announced, I remember there was kind of concerns that is it can become overpowered because you have such better gun weapon control. But then when we got the game and you'd see someone mounting, I was like, well, a lot of their body is still visible, so it's not like, like a kind of a head glitch scenario. So it could be something like this where the lean gives you just a minor advantage, just nothing major, and that's what I would hope is the case, that it's not a major advantage, creating a lot of like head glitching around corners. Now, the last thing that I want to talk about for the game as a whole, before I talk about the zombies side of things, is the return of the prestige system. Before they went away from doing the traditional prestige system, I really did enjoy prestiging. I always went to try and do the max prestige, so I'm really excited this is returning. It was a feature that it was kind of like, oh, that's fine, they took it away, not a big deal. But as the time went on and not having it in games, I did kind of miss it. So I'm really excited to get back into it, do that again so I can get max prestige. It's a really good way to, as you're doing like camo grinds, give you a little bit extra of a challenge to have to reset everything and rework towards unlocking everything. Now for zombies. The zombies portion of this event was definitely smaller. The main focus was on the multiplayer and campaign side of things, but they did talk about zombies at the end and they showed off some new footage for this, and it looks wonderful. Now do remember, my zombies experience is pretty limited. Modern Warfare Zombies was my first real iteration of the zombies experience from Call of Duty. And I understand that that's not what zombies is supposed to be. It's supposed to be what they're going towards, which is this round-based zombies. And I have in the past gone and played Cold War zombies to get a feel for it. So many people talk up the older games. I have not gone older than Cold War, but I went back and played that because it did have the round base on there, and it was very enjoyable. So seeing all the footage from this reveal event and knowing that it seems to be what more of the core zombies players want, I'm very excited that is being brought to everyone, and I'm very excited to jump into it for the first time fully into this round-based zombies experience. It's going to be very interesting to see, because I know I'm not the only one where Modern Warfare Zombies is kind of the first zombies experience that they have. So it'll be interesting to see how the side of the community that really enjoys MWZ is going to handle the transition to the more classic style of zombies in Call of Duty. Now that's all that I really have for you today. There is going to be a Call of Duty Next event. It is going to be August 28th, but I am sure before that we are going to be getting releases of information periodically leading up to that event. And this is my first time making content like this where it's about Call of Duty news. But as I said in the beginning of the video, I'm really hyped for this game, and I have been thoroughly enjoying making videos and posting them for people to view. So I hope you enjoyed this one. Till the next video, peace.